Let me ask you something nobody else is going to ask you today. How many hours of your life do you actually own? Not your vacation hours, not your sleeping hours. I mean the hours where you decide, completely, freely, what happens next. No alarm, no manager, no client, no deadline. For most people, if they're honest, that number is almost zero. And here's the uncomfortable part. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you made bad choices. It's because nobody ever taught you the 6 tiny habits that actually move the needle. Not 600, not a financial overhaul. 6 habits. Each one takes less than 10 minutes to start. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to understand money differently than you did before you clicked play. Here's what's actually happening to most salaried people in 2026. Money comes in, money goes out, the month ends, and somehow, even after all that work, the number in your account doesn't feel like it moved. Sound familiar? The typical U.S. personal saving rate hovers around just 4% despite strong employment levels. That's not a math problem. That's a knowledge problem. We were never taught how to think about money, only how to spend it. School taught U.S. grammar and geometry. Nobody handed us a class called How Money Actually Works in the Real World. So we figured it out by watching our parents, copying our friends, and making expensive mistakes in our 20s. Financial literacy among adults aged 25 to 35 remains stubbornly low, with many scoring only around 40 to 46% on key financial knowledge questions, showing little to no improvement despite more content available online than ever before. And the result? We work harder every year. We earn more. But the feeling of financial security? It keeps moving just out of reach. That's not an accident. That's a system. This is exactly why I created this channel, Unlock Wealth, to give ordinary, working people the financial map that nobody handed them growing up. Not theory, not textbooks, real habits that actually change how money moves in your life. Habit 1. Know what your time is actually worth. Every financial decision you make is really a trade. You're not spending money, you're spending time. Here's what I mean. Most people look at their salary and divide it by 2,080 hours to get their hourly rate. If you earn $55,000 a year, you think that's roughly $26 an hour. Easy, but that's not your real rate. First, taxes. Depending on where you live, you might lose 20 to 30% right off the top. So that 26 is already down to maybe 18 or 19. Then add your commute. Add the time you spend getting ready specifically for work. Add the mental energy cost of decompressing after a hard day. Time you're technically free, but not really functional. When you add all of that up, most people discover their real hourly rate is dramatically lower than they assumed. Now here's where this habit changes everything. The next time you're about to make a purchase, instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" ask, "How many hours of my actual life does this cost?" A $300 impulse purchase isn't $300. It might be 15 to 18 hours of your actual working life. A $35,000 car isn't $35,000. At a true hourly rate of around 18, that car is nearly 2 full years of your existence. Now you might be thinking, okay, but I need things. I can't put a price on everything. You're right, you shouldn't, but you should know the price before you decide. That's it. That's the whole habit. Reframe one purchase this week in hours, not dollars. Just one. See how it feels. Habit 2. Pay your future self first, automatically. Willpower is a terrible saving strategy. Every month, millions of people tell themselves, "I'll save whatever's left over at the end of the month." And every month, there's nothing left. Here's the uncomfortable truth. That's not a discipline failure. That's a systems failure. Research on automatic enrollment in retirement plans shows that participation rates jump dramatically, often to over 90% compared to around 60% or less in traditional opt-in systems. Because automation removes the decision entirely, the habit is simple. Set up one automatic transfer today, not next week. Today. It takes 5 minutes. Pick any percentage of your take-home pay, even if it's 3%, even if it's 1%. The amount matters less than the habit. Move it to a separate account the same day your paycheck arrives. Live on what's left. And then, over the next year, try to move that number up by 1 or 2% every few months. You will not feel the difference in your daily life. But in 5 years, you'll be standing in a completely different financial place. The wealthy don't save what's left. They spend what's left after saving. That single sentence is the entire lesson. Habit 3. The monthly financial check-in. You cannot improve what you don't measure. And most people, genuinely, have no idea where their money went last month. They could guess, but guess is not know. Here's the habit. Once a month, same day every month, you sit down for 20 minutes and look at exactly what happened financially. Total income, total spending. And then, this is the key part, categorize your spending into 3 buckets. Bucket 1 needs: rent, utilities, groceries, transport, the things that keep your life running. Bucket 2 wants: restaurants, subscriptions, entertainment, the things that make life enjoyable. Bucket 3 savings and future, investments, emergency fund, debt repayment. The widely cited 50-30-20 framework suggests roughly 50% toward needs, 30% toward wants, and 20% toward your future. While rising costs in 2026 can make this challenging for some, it's still an excellent flexible starting point. Now, you may look at your numbers and feel uncomfortable. That's normal. That's actually the point. The discomfort is information. It shows you exactly where the gap is. And once you can see the gap, you can close it. One monthly check-in creates more financial momentum than years of vague intentions. Habit 4. Learn to see everything as an asset or a liability. Here's a framework that will change how you look at every purchase you ever make again. Every single thing you own or are thinking about buying does one of 2 things. It either puts money into your pocket over time, or it takes money out of your pocket over time. An asset, a low-cost index fund that grows and compounds. A rental property that generates income. Even certain skills that raise your earnings. A liability, a car that loses value the moment you drive it off the lot, then costs you insurance, maintenance, and fuel every single month. Now hold on. This is not me saying don't own a car or never buy nice things. Life requires liabilities. The point is to know what you're buying. Most people accumulate liabilities their whole life. Upgraded cars, upgraded homes, upgraded everything, while telling themselves they're building wealth. But without assets generating income, all they've built is a pile of monthly bills. The habit: before any significant purchase, ask one question. Will this put money into my life over time, or will it take money out? You don't have to answer no every time, but you have to answer honestly. That question alone will save you more money over a lifetime than any budgeting app ever will. Habit 5. Track your net worth every quarter. Your salary is not your wealth. Your savings account balance is not your wealth. Your net worth is your wealth. Net worth is simple. Everything you own minus everything you owe. Add up your savings, investments, any property equity. Then subtract your debts, credit cards, loans, whatever you owe. The result, positive or negative, is where you actually stand financially. The habit is to track this number once per quarter, 4 times a year. Put it in a spreadsheet or a notes app. It takes 15 minutes. Here's why quarterly matters. Month to month, your finances are noisy. One unexpected bill can make a good month look terrible. But quarter to quarter, you start to see the real trend. Are you growing or shrinking? And when you watch that number grow, even slowly, something shifts in your psychology. You stop feeling like money is something that happens to you. You start feeling like someone who is building something. That feeling is not small. That feeling keeps people going when habits get hard. Habit 6. Invest in yourself before you invest in anything else. Here's something the investment world doesn't love to talk about. Your most powerful financial asset right now, today, is not in any brokerage account. It's you. College-educated workers in the U.S. earn substantially more over their lifetime, often $1 million or more above high school graduates. Think about what that means. Increasing your earning ability by just 10% can add hundreds of thousands of dollars to your lifetime income. That's more than most people have in retirement savings. And here's the part that makes this different from every other investment. Skills travel with you. Markets crash. Investments go sideways. But a skill you build, a certification, a new expertise, a capability that makes you more valuable at work, no market correction can take that away from you. The habit: allocate something, even $50 a month, specifically to your own growth. A course, a book, a workshop, something that makes you meaningfully better at what you do or opens a door you couldn't open before. This is not a soft, motivational idea. This is the highest return investment most people never make. You are worth investing in. Let me be honest with you for a second. None of these habits are secrets. They're not hidden in some finance textbook only rich people have access to. The uncomfortable truth is this: the gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't an information gap. It's a consistency gap. Most people know they should save more. Most people know they should invest something. Most people know they're spending too much on things they don't care about. But knowing and doing are two entirely different countries. And the reason most people never cross from one to the other is that they're waiting for the perfect moment. Waiting until the salary is higher. Waiting until the debt is gone. Waiting until life is a little more stable. That moment doesn't come. You build stability. You don't wait for it. The math of compound growth doesn't care about your intentions. It cares about your start date. The person who starts investing $300 a month at age 25 at an average 8% annual return can end up with dramatically more, often more than double, than the person who waits until 35, even if the later starter contributes the same or higher amounts later. Not because of talent, not because of luck, because time in the market is the one advantage that cannot be bought back once it's gone. I want to tell you about someone. Let's call her Maya. Maya was 29, working a mid-level marketing job, earning a reasonable salary. Not rich, not poor, just stuck. At the end of every month, there was almost nothing left. She'd tried budgeting apps. She'd read personal finance books. Nothing stuck. What changed wasn't a windfall. It wasn't a promotion. She started with one habit. She automated $200 a month into a low-cost index fund before she could spend it. That was it. For the first 6 months, she didn't change anything else. But something happened. Once she saw that number growing, slowly, quietly, she got curious. She started the monthly check-in. She learned the difference between assets and liabilities. She began tracking her net worth. One habit became 6, and 3 years later, Maya had a net worth that put her in a completely different financial position than her peers who earned the same salary. She didn't do anything exceptional. She just started, and then she kept going. That's the whole story. That's the whole point. Here's something worth sitting with for a moment. We live in a world where the financial system is genuinely complex by design, not necessarily by malice, but by default. Financial products are designed to be confusing. Fees are buried in fine print. The terminology is intimidating on purpose. And yet, the actual habits that build wealth are not complicated. They're boring. They're repetitive. They require almost no technical knowledge. The irony is that the wealthiest people in the world follow extremely simple financial principles. They spend less than they earn. They invest the difference consistently. They understand their assets and liabilities. They track their progress. That's it. No secret formula. No exclusive club. What they have, and what most people don't, is just a head start on the habits. They started earlier, so the compounding had more time to work. The good news? You can start today. The bad news? Every day you don't, the math gets slightly harder. That's not meant to scare you. It's meant to make the urgency feel real. I want to leave you with something that isn't a tip or a tactic. Think about what it would feel like to wake up 5 years from now and have real financial options. Not to be obscenely rich. Not to never work again, unless you want to. Just to have choices. The choice to take a job because you want to, not because you have to. The choice to handle an emergency without it derailing your entire life. The choice to take a month off. The choice to say no. That feeling, financial freedom, isn't a fantasy for other people. It's a math problem. And the math is actually on your side if you start early enough and stay consistent long enough. So here's your one action for this week. Just one. Go find out what your true hourly rate is. Take your after-tax monthly income. Add up every hour you actually spend on work, including commute, prep time, recovery time. Divide. Write the number down. Then, just once, look at something you bought last month and ask, was that worth the hours it cost me? That's it. That one reframe is where financial freedom actually starts, not in a brokerage account, in the way you think. The people who are free didn't find a better system. They just stopped waiting to start the one they already knew. If this video shifted something for you, even a little, share it with one person in your life who needs to hear it. Not to lecture them, just because this is the kind of thing that changes people when they find it at the right moment. And if you want to go deeper on any of these habits, investing, building net worth, understanding assets, I've got more videos right here that break each one down step by step. See you in the next one.